Hello. Welcome to Death Saves with Advantage. My name is Kyle. I'm going to be the GM for this first of hopefully multiple adventures, using at the very least Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, because that is what our player Earl and I are most comfortable with. But in the future, we may expand to other tabletop systems that we just like, or maybe we get a suggestion and read through it and like, yeah, let's go for it. Maybe in the future too, the idea is maybe we'll switch roles
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
between the two different between the various campaigns. But as you can see, uh, we are starting with Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, or Avernus, depending on who you talk to. Um, this is one of the newest, if not the newest, adventure modules to come from Wizards of the Coast, and we are excited to run through this and excited to have you all along for the ride. Uh, but even though the name
Ready to
is
go.
Has Baldur's Gate in the title, uh, we do not start in the city of Baldur's Gate. We actually have uh, the Moonleaf Family, our uh, adventurers, our heroes. Question mark. Who knows where the story will go? Uh, Making their way to the city uh, from somewhere or something. Time will tell. But since Earl's going to be running all of them, why don't you go ahead and introduce your ragtag family of four?
All right. So, a little bit of background on each one. First, we have a family of mostly turtles here. First, we have Bo Moonleaf. He grew up fighting. Never really stopped with the fighting.
Because I'm the GM, I
Uh,
can have all their character sheets up and just show the pictures.
that's true. Um, he's very proud, and as a younger man, he cared about nothing else but the fight. Did some gladiatorial combat in his younger days before he finally met a woman named Helena, who he would later marry and continue on with. His temper has gone down slightly, but if his family is in trouble, it's right back where it was. At one point, he had a bit of an accident, and a good friend of his helped him out, but he doesn't sound quite like the rest of his family because of it. We'll get to that a little bit
Okay.
though. Speaking of his wife, we have Helena, maiden name Shadecrest Moonleaf, musician of the group, black sheep of her family. No one else really understood her gift. She was way more creative, more of a free spirit. Um, she learned to be strong in that isolation and began traveling the world, playing for audiences wherever she found the chance. Eventually, actually ended up in the same Coliseum that Bo was fighting in, and they met after a fight. Uh, she has always kind of hid and not truly tapped into some kind of underlying magical abilities she might have. Uh, but she will protect her family at all costs, just like her husband. We then have their older child. Oh, sorry, I'll give it a little bit more. I'll just say their age. Bo is 37 years old. He is 6 foot in height. He weighs about 430 pounds. Uh, you saw the picture there.
Yeah,
Turtles are
just
a big, large,
big, heavy.
just just a big, heavy guy. Helena's around, close to the same age. Helena is 35. A little shorter, much lighter. Not as built for a life of fighting, at least not hand to hand. Then we have their daughter Violet. She's the older of the children. She is 16 years old. She's about 5'7", so weighs more than her mother. She is much more into magic. Um, Showed a natural talent from it very early. Uh, any bouts of loud crying, even as a young toddler, would be accompanied by some magic. So she was a bit of a handful. Um, she has a connection to the shadows with her magic, but her personality shines through all of that. Then we have the youngest of the family, their adopted son, Chant Moonleaf. He is not Tortle. He is a Kenku.
Oh boy.
For those who don't know Kenkus, they do not have their own voice. They can't speak, but they can mimic the sounds they hear around them, and they're intelligent enough to understand what they mean. And they have a lack of their creativity was taken from them as well, so they tend to, work in other ways. He was a monk. Spent his early days in a monastery. He is only 10 years old, so he's very early childhood in the monastery. But he is rather smart. He, even with his gift of mimicry, he doesn't speak too often. But he has also been very loyal to his family since they have adopted him just a couple years before. And that's the family, the Moonleafs.
Yes, and real quick, for those of you not familiar with a little of the background for Descent into Avernus, it specifically has you ask your players to have a discussion about something that implements them all having known each other, whether it's literally or by circumstance, before the events of the family. And with Earl piloting all 4 characters, we figured that a family was the easiest way to go, and all will be unfolded as we go through this story. Now, so Moonleaf Family, you were traveling before today from a small town just called Felder that found itself along the Kianthar River that runs a good ways into the Sword Coast, that Baldur's Gate and the city of Elturel reside on. And you've heard a couple rumors of things from both cities, and you decided that it'd be better off for your family to head to Baldur's Gate during these times. Just on hopes of maintaining maybe a low profile, even though you are 3 large bipedal turtles and a child-sized raven that mimics things.
Yes, indeed.
You've been traveling for a couple days now. You're following the river for the most part, but you know that you've probably got another full day's travel before you get actually to the city of Baldur's Gate. And you see that the sun is setting off in the distance, so you're setting up camp for the night.
Okay.
And is there any type of conversation you'd like to have between your characters, just jumping into it?
Yeah. Let's do this. So we've got Bo turns to his wife Elena.
Starting to get late. Probably time to make camp.
Helena is half listening. She's distracted, watching, staring carefully at her daughter. Bo's not quite sure what she's thinking of. Helena.
Huh? What was that? Oh yeah, camp. That's probably smart. Chant, can you go get some wood?
Chant softly nods and disappears off the path briefly, returning. Violet seems kind of disjointed off to the side, and they start to make camp and kind of quietly have a meal.
Chant comes back with the firewood. You set up the camp, and it's a windy night. But you've gotten used to it. Coming from your home, where you didn't have to worry about it, it's been a little bit of an adjustment for Violet, to say the least. But can I have whoever you'd like out of the group to make a perception check just for the night?
Ooh, let's think through that one for just a second. The answer doesn't surprise me here. Sure, it will surprise no one. We're gonna go with, well, they don't know who everyone is for sure. Actually, probably gonna be Bo.
Okay.
This one, Bo or Chant. Let's see. It's actually gonna be Chant. Let's make that perception check. Whoa, why is that? That was weird.
Oh, that kind of just dropped them on my screen instead of.
Well, it told me to click and drag, and then it didn't let me.
Oh, that's a Roll20 setting where it's asking if automatically roll the 3D dice or not. If you check the box, then it just throws them out. Yeah. But a 16. Oh, there he goes. A 16. Just to turn this down a little bit. Quick shout out to Sirenscape, because this is an awesome tool that I'm going to be using in. Yeah, not sponsored. Although that'd be great. Tool I was introduced to by some friends of mine. And it's just so much. See if you can hear this. Probably can't hear that. You hear a twig snap off in the distance, and hear what sounds like the scuffling of stone. You look over in the distance, and you see just a reflection from the firelight on a pair of eyes, and then seeing that you see it, it backs away into the darkness.
Chant leans closer to his father, gets his attention, and points in the direction. Eye contact. Bo shushes everyone.
Everyone, be careful. And quiet. People looking at us.
You wait the rest of the night as everyone gets ready. Eventually, you all doze off as whatever. Since Chant noticed it, it seems like whatever that was is leaving you alone for the evening. Earl's got a fun little setup because he wanted to provide a variety of voices for his characters. I'm
not quite a voice actor.
Neither of us are quite voice actors, but this lets it definitely allows his characters' voices to be different from one another and yet consistent.
Yes.
But you take shifts throughout the evening. Uneventful night other than whatever that was, and you put out the fire in the morning if there's any embers burning, and you start making your way towards the city.
All right.
It's probably going to take you another 8 hours or so, like a full day's march to get there. But you're keeping the river to your left, because you know it'll bring you directly there. It is, actually, if anybody wants to out of the party, give me a history check to see what they know about the city.
Yeah. Fantasy check for the studying some monsters.
Okay. Who is that?
Chant.
Chant. Okay.
Oh, I should. Oh, I'd have to change it every time.
We can do some settings, setting changes on the character sheets. But, so Chant came across some books that maybe Helena had around the house or were at the monastery. It was just to talk about the area in general. But you know that following the river is your best bet because Baldur's Gate is a harbor town and settled specifically right just north of where this river goes out into the ocean, the
Okay.
Sea of Swords, I should say. There is no world map of the Sword Coast in this game. Okay. There's a beautiful map of the city that we'll
How
get
does that
to.
happen?
There's a beautiful map of the city that we can get to in a bit. But, so you're following the river, and there's a small forest along it, and let's see. Let me go ahead and make some rules here.
Absolutely. Helena is watching Violet very carefully.
Mhm.
Violet still seems pretty disjointed. She kind of had her head down, walking kind of
Hope if I clicked on that.
slowly, minding her
Okay.
own.
What is everyone's passive perceptions?
Passive perceptions. We've got 14 for Bo, 10 for Helena, 9 for Violet, and 14 for Champ.
Okay. So, sorry, the highest number one more time? Was it 14 the highest? 14?
Yeah, two
Okay.
14s.
So, what would your marching order be? I assume Bo would be in the front, being the
Bo's
head of the
in front.
family.
We'll go Bo, Violet, Chant, Helena.
Okay. Parents flanking the kids. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. So, as you are going into the forest, you just barely hear out of the corner of your ear as there's the sound of arrows. And what is Violet's armor class?
Violet's armor class is 17.
And Chance.
Chant's armor class is 19.
Oh,
Right.
geez, that's right.
Good
You've got
lord.
them. You're. Oh my gosh. Between three of them being turtles in their natural armor, and the other being what he is class wise,
Armor defense launch, yeah.
your
Yeah.
AC is just gonna be ridiculous. There's Violet feels a tink tink off of her shell as an arrow bounces off, and then Chant just takes a quick step back, and the arrow lands in front of his feet. Bo, looking around to see, he spots two goblins up in the trees on either side of this path that you're going, and then looks forward and just there's a slightly tougher built looking goblin wielding a kind of rather gnarly and jagged looking scimitar that is that walks out from behind a couple trees and is just blocking your group's path through this forest. So let's go ahead and go ahead and roll some initiative.
Do we have initiative? Token initiative in this game or no?
If you click on your token, it might pop up for you.
I don't see it. It's fine.
Okay. I know I have it at the very least.
My tokens aren't circles. Who am I clicking on currently? I have to make sure I don't click. Yeah, I was monitoring our Twitch. I have to make sure I don't click on it because I was like, oh no, wait, I can't see that map yet because it's your screen.
Okay. I'm gonna have them go there.
And
That go.
then left.
Oh, buddy.
You get a bad roll.
No. Well, yes, depending on who you
yeah,
ask.
got a 6, yeah. Yeah.
And then chant. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So, the goblins actually get to all go first. The ones up in the tree.
Higher than my 25. Ooh.
Oh wait, you rolled a 25?
The chant.
What? Oh, okay. Never. Sorry. Chant goes first. I was scrolled down on the initiative tracker.
It's all good. Me too. Are they? How high up in the tree are they?
They are probably about 10 feet up. They're on the lowest branches of the trees on either side.
Okay. Chance is going to run off straight right here.
Mm-hmm.
15 is going to get right to the base of the tree. He's going to attempt to climb up to stab this guy.
Okay. Athletics check.
Sure. Is that athletic, not acrobatic? Oh boy.
Now you're climbing. Doesn't matter though.
17.
17. Yeah.
Yeah,
That'll
he's
do
gonna
it.
Pull out a pull out his dagger. He's gonna go for a swing.
Okay. That'll hit.
25. All right.
Whoo! And you just
Woo-wee.
real
Max
quick.
damage.
Real quick, you just you run over and you actually use the dagger to climb up and then just slit this goblin, and it just slams on the ground.
Sure.
The goblin in the other tree was already knocked an arrow and was ready to fire at Violet or Helena again, but seeing you over there taking out the other is just a... And let's see if it can hit you this time.
Aimed at who?
Chance, sorry. That is a hit, and you're going to take 6 piercing.
6 piercing. Ooh, he's not looking good.
That was a... Almost...
have to
That
roll
was
a 20.
a good roll on his part. This one... Seeing Bo in front, and he's also like the biggest, physically probably the
Sure.
biggest threat. It's going to swing its scimitar, connects for 4 slashing. It'll swing its second attack, missing terribly. And seeing that, it's going to use, as it just bounces off of the shell, it's gonna disengage as a bonus action. Wait, can it do that?
Alright.
Can it do that?
It's a special one.
It can go that far. Not seeing what weapon Bo's drawing until it's too late. All right,
Sure.
brings us to Violet.
It's a Violet. Violet is not turning Violet. Violet. Alright, so Violet is going to turn. Can you look at my last cantrip and let me know if you're allowing it, because it's from newer things. I didn't double check with you.
Let me roll a D100. That's not. I rolled 100 instead of a D100. Let's see.
Then yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Well then I had to do that. Yeah, I might as well do it. Now that you've rolled for it. 30-foot range. Doesn't even have to move. Violet's gonna turn towards the one on the left.
Okay.
Only gonna take a couple steps out of the way there. And is going to cast some sapping sting.
Whoo! Get that wild mount cantrip going.
That's right. So sapping sting.
It's not actually supposed to be a attack roll. Roll 20 likes to do that. Go ahead and roll.
No,
Just
it's
click
not.
it.
The target must succeed on a con save.
Con
Oh, I had a
save.
nat 20 though. Oh, man.
Yeah. It's at least it shows the con save.
Yeah, right. I rolled 10.
So I need to also make. I'm gonna say a dexterity saving throw. Ah.
It does already fall prone if it fails in the spell's description.
Yes. But then it also fails my
true.
self-given check to hold on to
Sure.
the branch, and it falls prone to the ground, taking an additional 4 points of bludgeoning damage, as
Oh, boy.
you reach up and you give a little twist of your hand, and this spark of just shadow latches onto its foot, and then the branch and just rips off to the side, causing it to fall to the ground. Not looking great.
Not looking great. It shouldn't. I'm testing it quick. It shouldn't be a roll now.
Yay!
No.
Next is
Hey,
Bo.
Oh, Bo. Bo is gonna look up angry. Says, "This isn't the fight I'm gonna lose." Oh, he should have really said that.
This isn't the fight I'm gonna lose.
And Bo is gonna take a step forward, and this guy is running away from him. He's gonna pull out.
Do you do
Pull
anything
out
with
his
your
blade.
bonus action first?
Yeah, might as well do it in this combat. Bo's gonna rage.
Yeah.
Go into a rage. There's gonna be some extra fun things with that there. And he's going to pull out his glaive.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna swing away. I'll stab away, I suppose.
All right, let's see it.
Is that 14 gonna do it?
No, you see that
Ooh.
this goblin, he actually has.
Ooh.
You connect with some armor.
All
So,
right.
unfortunately, that doesn't go through. But
Alright. A fighter.
real quick thing for the glaive, you do have 10
Yes.
foot reach, just for future reference.
Yes, indeed. He doesn't get that close personal.
Yes. All right, let's see what Helena's up to.
All right, Helena is going to wish she had been earlier in the lineup, but she, as a bonus action, is going to turn to Chant, who isn't looking too great, and pull out a flute, give a little tune. Oh.
You don't know how she does it, but she can play chords on a flute.
I didn't play. I played an arpeggio. All right.
I heard multiple notes at the very end.
She's really good.
Yes.
Okay, so Helena is going to then, not a fan of her son being.
How much
like
did
that.
she? Did you say she bonus action healing word?
No, that was an inspiration
Oh, okay. Who did it go to? Was it
to Chant.
to Chant? Okay.
Yes, but she's also going to heal Chant. She's going to be with an action instead. She will be casting some Cure Wounds. Chant, she's obviously going to move over to do so.
A Chant is up on a branch 10 feet above her.
That's true. Probably not the best climber. Alright, she won't do that then. she's going to turn and yeah, we're gonna do some vicious mockery.
Who you going for?
The big guy,
The biggin? Okay.
the big and
Let's see it. Wisdom. Oof. Wisdom. Buddy. Yeah, no. You're taking...
hold up. Whoa. I need my good she says
Oh, you've got something ready. Okay.
maybe.
Maybe.
No, that's not what I want. You gotta do the classic
You're
well, to be continued.
you're taking steps towards becoming a fully fledged bard by trying to viciously mock a goblin to death. I like it.
Yes. How did that go?
You know, he
took
he
two
failed
psychic
real bad. So he takes the 2 points of psychic damage.
Sure. Sounds good.
All right.
Well, we're back to Chant.
Back to chant.
Chant's not feeling the greatest. Not too much he can do about that, though. Is going to he's gonna climb down out of this tree, and he's going to stay close to his mother here.
Okay.
If I want to throw this thing, how far can I throw it? 20,
Daggers, I think, are 20, 40,
20, 60.
2060. Nice.
And yeah, he's gonna throw his dagger at the big guy.
Okay, let's see it.
Is that a different roll?
Nope, it's the same.
It's the same. Good to know. 18.
18 hits, even if he had the...
18.
He had... I didn't say he was holding his shield, but Bo still would have missed. So 7 points of damage. Whew. Okay.
Good throw.
Very good.
Yeah, Champ feels good about that, and he's gonna stay right there next to his mother.
Okay. This goblin is gonna use half his movement to get up. Look over to its boss there, and then just rushes at Violet,
Alrighty.
pulling out its own scimitar. 17 exactly. She takes 6 slashing.
Whew. All right.
Yeah. And then with him in this state,
Great.
gonna disengage as a bonus action.
Sure.
And he's able to get it this far away. And then in front of Bo, seeing his ally get a little swipe in, fills him. He's like, "Yeah, we can do this. We can do this." And looks away just as he starts running, and then just tink tink on Bo's shell. And he'll wrap around. And he's gonna disengage to get over here as well. Seeing that his 2 failures and then his ally running.
Sure.
Violet.
All right. Violet is going to just double checking one thing here.
As he's running away, you see now you see he's got a really like pieced together wooden shield on his back. Puts his scimitar away so he can really pump those arms to start running.
Violet looks at them and their proximity to one another, and just
Oh no.
and she's gonna cast Ice Knife
Oh no.
on the more damaged one. Actually, you know what? On the leader.
On the leader? Okay.
Do it on the leader.
Let me get those con saves ready. Oh no.
Woohoo!
Oh no.
And really well aimed, a little shot
Oh my
here.
gosh.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
oh, no.
Yeah. There's one
And
goblin
that's
statue.
before.
Uh, yeah, this one, the goblin boss, you just form this ice knife. Flip it in your hand. It has a slight purplish hue to it. And you flip it, grab the blade, throw it, and he falls over dead before it even explodes. But now you've got two ice statues of goblins, as your family has successfully survived this ordeal,
Close, close though.
this ambush.
Violet has a moment of relief, and then kind of looks a little sullen again. She kind of just stares at them, frozen there. Helena comes up and
It's okay. It's okay. And
she turns her away from them, and Helena is going to cast twice, one on each child. She's going to cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Using her spells, both spells. Do that again. Fully healing both of them. Doesn't
Nice.
take too much. Chant nods in approval, and Violet keeps staring, but mutters,
thank you.
Okay.
Bo looks at the family.
Well, as fun as that may be, I think we need to be a little more careful.
And as everyone comes to that agreement, you get the gist that these goblins may be part of something bigger, and that they've been doing this for a little bit, at least for today. Maybe you're not their first targets. As between all three of the goblins, your family racks up 27 gold pieces.
Alright. Getting some money. Helena definitely holds on to that. 27 gold pieces. We had a little bit going in. Alright.
Okay. So you continue.
Chant looks excited at the money.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I said Chant looks excited at the money exchange, and then it's gone and he kind of pretends he didn't see it.
Pretends. Yeah. Okay. As your family continues throughout the rest of the day, everything seems to be fine. There's no real issues with anything else going on. No other goblin attacks. The only creatures you see are just like the occasional birds. But eventually you do make your way to just this massive city. And like I'm gonna zoom out to show you the scale of this thing. You're coming from the west, or sorry, not the west. You're coming from the eastern side, so you're passing. You see what they typically just call the outer cities. Not like terrible conditions, but literally just outside of the city. And you find yourselves like just grouping up with this massive like migration of people. As you hear, actually, give me a general perception check.
Just everybody?
One for the group, so you pick one.
Stick with Chant.
So you hear a lot of murmurs about, and you're not entirely sure if they're truthful or not, but apparently Elturel has fallen. Not sure what that means per se, because Elturel
Elturel.
is like, it's typically called it's the capital of the Holy Land of Elturgard, which is a smaller, not necessarily kingdom, but just territory near Baldur's Gate. So you're not quite sure if that's believable, but a lot of these people say they're from there, or that just they've heard that the city has fallen, and that luckily you are almost to the Basilisk Gate, which is the eastern entrance into the city of Baldur's Gate.
Sure.
And let me do the Kianthar River. And as you get through the gates, it is almost nighttime, and with almost as if without warning, you just get through the gates and it starts to close. And everyone inside they're just glad that they could make it in. But you start hearing people rioting outside. And as you take this all in, there are guards that are pretty, like, they're really well armed. But I think it was, you had Chant do it before, the history check.
Yep.
You see emblazoned on, like, sometimes on the chest plate, other times like on the pauldron, or just like on a maybe on like a cape for a higher ranking member, just people with there's just a symbol of a flaming fist, and he knows that and shares with the party that it is like the Flaming Fist is just like essentially a mercenary group that's been hired by the well-to-do people within the city to act as town city guard. And
Okay.
they are just shouting down to the people outside. It's like, oh no, we're closing the gates, we're closing the gates, nobody else is in, nobody in, nobody out. And seeing like three rather large and strong-looking turtles, one of the ones that looks more like an officer approaches your group and says that, specifically to Bo, now you look quite capable. Looks like somebody that is going to be of great use to our company. We're not asking for volunteers. We need everybody's help within this city. Now, I need your family to follow me. Looks over the rest. And, if
Who
anybody...
were you?
Sorry.
Who were you?
I'm the one who's telling you to come with me. Now, do we want to do this peacefully, or do we have to get, violent? And he...
Hold
Bo holds his hands up. Okay. Nods at the family. They all nod back in understanding.
Okay, and he is definitely trying to be as intimidating as possible.
Am I intimidated?
What would... I guess you could give me, like a wisdom, I guess? Wisdom check?
For Bo?
For Bo, or anybody you think that might be intimidated. Bo has seen some... He's seen some shit.
Bo's
So,
not intimidated. We'll say Violet.
That's who I was thinking. Violet and
Yeah.
maybe Chant.
With just wisdom.
Yeah, just not like a saving throw or anything, just a wisdom check. Yeah, Violet, not intimidated to like tears, but definitely like worried, like what's going on.
Sure.
And as you follow this person from the Flaming Fist, I think that's a good spot to end because this is right where the adventure officially picks up. So we are planning on running through again all of Descent into Avernus with the Moonleaf family, which, if we hadn't had any guesses, if you hadn't guessed all of the classes just yet, Earl,
Sure.
if you'd like to, you can share what everyone's playing.
Yeah, we can do that. We've got Bo. Bo is a barbarian. I am making final decisions on what path he's going down real soon, but he's big and strong. He's ready to fight. A little wiser than he might have to be for but that might come in handy. Helena, no surprise, is our bard here. Once again, still deciding for sure on the college. Have narrowed it down to a couple, but wanted to. We were eager to get started, and it doesn't make too much of a difference currently.
It's going to take a little bit to get to
we've got-
3.
Yeah, that's fine. Violet, however, is our shadow magic sorcerer. Decides right at level 1. They get some cool stuff. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And Chant, no surprise, is a monk. I am most likely going Kensei monk with this one. He likes his weapons. What we will see as we get closer.
Yes. Thank you for people that popped in and out because we are streaming this on Twitch. We are Death Saves with Advantage. The videos will be live. We're thinking maybe Sunday afternoons, but we'll also be cutting down the whole video for ease of watching and posting them on YouTube. We're looking to get everything in podcast form as well, going through, I'm thinking, Podbean, because they can help distribute the podcast for you wherever you normally get podcasts. Google Play, App Store, what have you. But thank you so much for joining us for Session 0. Again, my name is Kyle. We have Earl running the Moonleaf Family, and this is Death Saves with Advantage.